President of the Guyana Amateur Boxing Association, Steve Ninval, before sharing his thoughts on the 2017 year, expressed contentment with last year and how it went for the sport.
2016 was a good year for us. A good year in the sense that we were able to expose a lot of our junior athletes and youth and junior athletes to competitions. And as we've said, our focus is basically now youth and junior boxing. It's not that we will be doing away with elite boxing, but our focus is on youth and junior. We would have done many things in 2016 that comes to mind quickly as major achievements. One is that we were able to host the first Caribbean schoolboys and juniors tournament ever held in this hemisphere. And that was a success. We had 3 countries participating, and we plan to have it also this year. It's the second edition of that. As you know, one of the bugbears would be acquisition of enough funds. We as an association are still very much in the red. It's not something that we want to hide. There are places that we owe, but we are paying incrementally to those people that we owe. I don't think there's an association in this country that does not owe something. So it really tells you of the plight of sporting associations in Guyana.
Ninval also shared his dream for boxing in 2017, albeit it probably being a few years from realization.
I would want to see, first and foremost, boxing has getting its own home. I know that we are still managing the Andrew Sixhead Lewis gym, but if you take a look at that gym, it is not conducive to what we would want to do in a gym. For one thing, the vents are very, very few as it relates to ventilation is very poor at that gym. So we would want to see boxing have its own home. I ideally would want us to have a medal, firstly, at the Commonwealth Youth tournament that is being held in Barbados. We have a very good crop of young boxers. As a matter of fact, in December, the Caribbean Development Tournament, the best youth boxer out of 17 countries was a Guyanese, Christopher Moore. It says that we are doing something right, but again, even though we would have conquered the Caribbean, our aim is to conquer Latin America and then further afield.
In addition, Ninval is keen on returning the sport of boxing to its glory days, similar to that of the 1970s and 80s.
So we're looking to partner with the government, partner with the National Sports Commission, and with the present executive of the Guyana Olympic Association to try to make sure we can maximize the returns that boxing can give. Because it's a proud sport, and many Guyanese have been proud about the achievements of boxing in 1980s and 1970s and so forth. And we wanted to return to that. It's a long journey, it's an arduous journey, but we have started, and it is my hope that if we have all hands on deck, we'll be able to do that.
Nevertheless, Ninval is not just all talk and has revealed that his association has yet again mapped out a developmental plan for the sport.
We've crafted a 4-year plan which should have started last year, and that plan will be issued to the Ministry of Education, Department of Culture, Youth and Sport, and the Guyana Olympic Association. That will be done before the end of this month. We're doing that because we want to have a systematic and a holistic and strategized approach to taking this sport forward. We were the only association that had given that to the government and the GOA when they asked for it some years ago. Sadly, we did not get the sort of input that we would have wanted. Hopefully, this time around, it will be better received and we'll be able to take the sport forward.
However, the major bugbear of the sport continues to be finance, and Ninval stressed that it is a major concern if the association is to reach its full potential.
I would say this, funding remains the major, because without funding you can't do anything else. It was stated at the AIBA Executive Congress that in order to move one boxer from here to get him to a medal round in the Olympics, the amount of hundreds of thousands of US dollars that will take just individually to get an individual fighter. Because we're speaking about nutrition, we're speaking about exposure to international competition, we're speaking about psychological training and all of these things put together. We have to send 3 boxers to Azerbaijan to the Islamic Games. Luckily, that will be funded by the GOA. But one ticket to Azerbaijan will cost you more than 300,000 Guyana dollars. It will cost you maybe 2,000 US dollars, which is 400,000 Guyana dollars. That's just to get to the games. Now, if you're sending 3 people, that means that is 1.2. And you haven't spoken about accommodation, meals, and so forth. That is one. So let's put that at maybe $2 million. How does the boxer train his encampment and so forth? That is, you talk about another set of money. And if you're going to train for games like that, then you would not want to train in Guyana alone. You will want to have overseas encampment also. Overseas encampment comes at a horrendous cost. So you see, if money, it starts and ends with funding.
Meanwhile, Ninval ended by noting that the main goal for 2017, especially after the 2016 year, is to get more gold. Tristan Joseph for Newsroom Sport.